All right, let's jump right into it. It is the last day of the month, so we get to do some foreshadowing or at least some estimations here as we try to decipher where the month is going to close. You can see that previous month's low sitting at that, or previous month's open sitting at that 5105. That's going to be a key level if the market should get below there today, maybe some increased liquidation. It could settle there, right? It could start to develop a little equilibrium. We do have a previous high here. Our previous +4 close 5103.75, the open 5105 quarter. So should we get a close there, I wouldn't really be surprised. That would just represent that the market is remaining in balance, and no real kind of shockingness there. It is a pretty decent, I guess not really, I mean 20 handles below, but it would be a, a little decent ways down, still within the current month's range, so not really anything too crazy. I think the bullish case, or for long traders, they're looking to get a close higher than that, right? Honestly higher than the 5147. I think is going to be their best estimate, or their best case scenario. And remember, it is last day of the month typically, right? Some investors are not really wanting to show a down day if they can just close the market relatively where it's at or higher, so they can send out those reports to their investors. That's probably ideal. When we take a peek at the OPEX right here, you can kind of see we've got this options expiration, really trading inside the previous options expiration. And so you can see the dates on here. So this is 217 until 316, and then this is from 420 and on. So this one has about 10 days of trading. Well, not even 10 days of trading, but just 10 total days in it. And you can see kind of where we were at yesterday, that 5147 as of the close. So really the market on a larger scale is starting to look like a balance, right? It's important to pay attention to that. You can see, in previous times when we've gotten that kind of balance, the market just kind of trades sideways. You see big balance here, big balance here. So then you can see what the uptrends look like, right? They typically continue to make higher highs. Right now, we're just kind of inside that range. Still some time to go, of course, but something just to think about. Sitting over to the weekly, right? And this is our, to me, the biggest key piece of evidence that we can get, or that we got yesterday, even though yesterday's range was very, you know, nothing to write home about. We got a cessation of one time framing, right? And that cessation of one time framing lets us know that we have at least relatively short-term selling is non-existent, right? If we had aggressive sellers, they wouldn't let this market continue above the previous weeks, and this is on a weekly basis, right? Which are typically, at least some medium-term traders, they wouldn't really let this get above that previous week's high. Well, they did yesterday. I know, although it was marginally, and right now we're trading back inside the previous week's range, so something to pay attention to. But should we get back above that previous week's high, there is going to be some opportunity for some of these momentum shorts that have piled into the market to get squeezed coming in to the next couple of weeks. On the weekly, though, besides that key piece of evidence, we are inside the range from the week from 415. So those are going to be the key levels that you want to watch. On the high, the 52.13. On the low, the 59.91. The real level on the low, I think, is the 0375. There's a little bit of a gap right there that the market never came back in touch. That was our first indication of weakness from sellers. Yesterday, we got our second indication from weakness from sellers. So we definitely want to be kind of at least ears out, paying attention to some of these subtle keys that the market throws at us. On the daily, you can see that downtrend has been broken and closed above yesterday. So we'll really be paying attention to this today. We are one time framing higher on the daily. Yesterday was a +4 day, so above that settle, I think we start to get really strong. That's really kind of my main focus today. If we can get above that 5147, I want to go long with the market, targeting some of the levels up that I posted in the trade view in the Discord. Those are going to be kind of the stopping points on the way up. Most of them are order flow levels and the COP point of control up there at 5206. Now, switching over here to the profile, we can see basically a little bit of a review from yesterday, right? We just for the most part, inched higher. We did get a small pullback towards the end of the day that was bought right back up. No surprise there as it traded kind of right into our buy zone, kind of where we were expecting. And then it's come to my attention that maybe some people are having some issues with why that was a buy zone from yesterday. Well, I mean, basically what we're looking at is a distribution here, right? And you figure unfair low, unfair high. Well, we traded up into that unfair high area for the better half of the day without any continuation. Got that poor high, letting us know that there wasn't a lot of strong buyers. And when we got that opportunity to trade down to the poor low, the market just tapped and bounced. It actually went very quick. I was only able to get filled on one lot, but it went very quick and traded all the way back to both of our targets that we were looking for. So something to pay attention to is that these shorts are still stuck. Oh, terrible. These shorts are still stuck in their positions, right? That's why there's still a gap here. And that's letting us know, especially on that tap yesterday, that that's a little bit of selling weakness. So we've got selling weakness, right? We got kind of three key pieces of evidence of selling weakness. This is that level that I was talking about. Here's the -4 close, and we never actually touched it. So you get momentum traders coming into this week. Next week opens up, moves higher, never trades back to that. If sellers were strong, they would have got that continuation. They didn't. Second piece of evidence is yesterday we got a test of this upper distribution. This is a short time frame traders up distribution, right? Short covering P profile. So we figured not really strong traders trading this market, but those short traders were very fast to get out of the market. So that's our second piece of evidence. And our third piece of evidence that we got a cessation of one time framing. So we're not changing to an uptrend on a weekly, but we are changing from a downtrend to a sideways trend. So you've got a monthly looking like a balance, right? Weekly also looking like a balance. And then on the daily, we're one time framing higher. So that's something to pay attention to. And you can see all the volume that's come in here in this Globex session, really news based, right? We got the unemployment cost index, market dropped right on the news. 9 a.m. came around. We got some composite CPI, not really any super strong reaction to that. We do have some Chicago PMI 945, which isn't that big of a deal. And then consumer confidence at 10. So that'll be an interesting time to kind of pay attention to. As far as today's plan goes, really, like I said, I'm looking to stay long if we get above this settle. I'd like to see, I'd like to see it pop, retest, get above that settle and hold. Inside this area, basically from like 35 to 20, basically inside this entire area here from this previous day's low, I'm just considering this kind of a chop zone. I don't think the market's going to be doing much of anything except for kind of bouncing around. So inside here, I'm just kind of looking for scalps that I can play off mechanical levels or scalps that I can play off volume profile levels, things like that. And then below that is where the floodgates get opened, I think. You start to get lower, especially below that 11. Then we start to test into that gap. Inside the gap's kind of anyone's game. Depends if they fill the gap. If they fill the gap, then I think that target down is going to be this 85 over here. That's an order flow level and a COT level, really where it makes sense for the market to go to find fair value. Now there is some opportunity here if we get this kind of breakdown out below yesterday's low and then enter back in the range. That could be exactly what they need, right? Shorts start to cover, and that could be a long opportunity back up towards the settle. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be paying attention to today. Now we do have some earnings after hours today, right? I think Amazon is going to be the big one. I think AMD is after hours as well. So yeah, we got AMD, Amazon, and Starbucks after the market closes. So there is going to be some opportunity there for the market to kind of bounce around. So you may get a little bit of hesitation. Of course, we do have the Fed tomorrow too. So a lot of people possibly still waiting on that. So we're going to be, you know, keep our expectations tempered, as today just may be another day of balance. There's a lot of people that I've seen in social media writing off the Fed as far as like it doesn't really matter what they say, the market's going to do what it's going to do. Well, we'll see tomorrow when the Fed comes around. I don't try to pretend like I know everything or really anything. I just try to prepare for what I think is going to happen and then react to it if it does. Um, but yeah, other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you're managing risk and sticking to your trade plan, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.